You only need one funnel today to hit $10 million or more per year in your business. Now, I built two businesses, each with over $200 million in sales each. Both of them, we really only used one funnel. So in this video, I'm gonna break down exactly the best type of funnel you can use today where your customers won't even know that they're being sold to, and that's why it works so well. So now let's talk about what type of funnel to create, because most people way overcomplicate this. So most businesses do something like this. They have their sales page. So this is where they send all their traffic to. It could be from Facebook ads, affiliates, email, like whatever. They send all their traffic here, and then they want to capture a lead. And so they want to get an email address, a phone number, or possibly both. Then they use email to follow up with those people. Then they eventually send those people to another sales page that's maybe more direct than the first one. And then from there, they send them to a cart, and then they finally go out here and collect money. This is a problem because every step that you add is a possibility to lose people. And so this somewhat depends on the price of your product, but if you're selling a product that's less than $1,000, you need to pay close attention because there's a better way than this. So a better way to do it is you have your sales page, you send them from there to a cart, and then you collect money on checkout. So from here, you're skipping a whole bunch of steps. Forget lead capture. That can come only if they try to leave the page or something. But in most cases, you just want to offer what you have to offer on the page. So you take them from the sales page just like we do. And then if they click add to cart, they want to order, you can take them to a cart, and then you collect their payment. But there's an even better way to do this. The best funnels out there, if you're selling a product for less than $1,000, is you have your sales page, and then you collect money. This is what you do. And the crazy part is I would say this is a general rule depending on the price of your product. If it's less than $1,000, I've got a buddy though who's selling a product that's $25,000, and he basically uses this approach. But in most cases, more expensive products capture information, get people on a phone call, et cetera, et cetera. But for most of us, we're selling products that are not more than $1,000. This is the best kind of funnel we can use because it skips a lot of steps. It reduces the error that can happen when you're jumping people around to multiple pages and you're trying to track them using Facebook ads or whatever platform. And it's also going to give you the highest conversion rate of visitors to buyers. Because you may think that if you capture their email, you're going to convince those people to buy, you're likely just going to lose them. And so instead, if you just collect their money up front, you're likely going to do better, and this is going to make your life so much simpler. It also makes it way easier to optimize the funnel, which is probably the biggest problem in all of this, and why people fail at building funnels, is they build these complicated things, but they don't know which step isn't working. Is it the first step? Is it the fourth step? It's really hard to tell. It's hard enough to optimize one page, much less four of them. But if you only have one page to optimize and then a pretty basic checkout, then all of your attention, 99% of your attention can go here, and that's how you scale. Now let's talk about the single biggest secret that 8- and 9-figure businesses know that 6- and 7-figure businesses haven't figured out yet. And so when I coach people on how to scale up on their own sales funnels using any style of funnel, but even though we're going to talk about the best one here in a few minutes, but the first thing they have to figure out is how do I go from selling one unit to multiple units? Because if you really want to scale up a funnel and you're not just selling on a platform like Amazon, then you have to find out some way to create more value with customers. Because if you barely make any money per buyer, you're never going to be able to scale because you're competing against everybody else with Facebook ads, with organic content, with possibly TikTok ads, YouTube ads. You're competing with basically everyone in the entire world that wants to run ads. So you have to be able to make more money per customer than just about everyone else. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to scale. Fortunately, this process is very simple. The first thing you do is see if you can raise prices. If you're selling a product for $50 and you can sell it for $75 with no loss in conversion rate, that's the easiest way to make more money per customer. Now, if you feel like you've already done that and can't raise prices any further, then you ask people to buy multiple units. In our business selling coffee, we ask people to buy 3 units, 6 units, and sometimes even more. And you'd be surprised, our average buyer buys more than 3 units per order. And so no matter what product you sell, you can get people to buy multiple units. I'm coaching some guys in the automotive category, and they're crushing it, getting people to buy a multi-$100 product that you would think most people are not going to buy 2 of them up front. That's their average order, is at least 2 of these things up front. And so the typical way to offer this is kind of like a 1, 2, 3 or 1, 3, 6 bundle option. 1 unit, 3 units, 6 units, and you give people better discounts as they move up higher. Alternatively, you can bundle different of your products together The main idea is you apply the rule that I talk about a lot is never let a customer buy just one. That's how you extract more value upfront from customers, because a big part of scaling with paid ads or even organic traffic or just scaling your business at all is having a higher, what they call lifetime value, meaning the total amount of profit you make from a customer over their lifetime, typically measured in 1, 2, or 3 years. So that's the whole goal. But here's the secret a lot of people don't talk about. Up to 70% of a customer's lifetime value comes on the first order. So that means getting that first order to be as valuable as possible is incredibly important for most businesses. Now, if you're able to implement subscription, automatic rebilling, and subscription offers in your business because you sell a consumable product like us with coffee, or maybe you sell a other kind of supplement or something like that, that's great. You don't have to get people to buy everything up front. But if you sell a non-subscription product, then up to 70% of the amount of money an average customer is ever going to give you comes on that first order. So you've got to get them to buy more upfront, and that's how you make the whole funnel work. Now we need to figure out a way to get people to buy the first time they ever see your page, because a typical conversion rate is somewhere between like 1 and 5%. That means 95 to 99% of people that hit your page are never coming back. And so you got to get them to buy upfront on day one, because you're going to pay for the traffic regardless of whether they buy or not. But if you can get your conversion rate from just like 1% to 2% or 2% to 4%, that's doubling your conversion rate, doubling the amount of money you make per visitor without spending anything else on traffic. So it's an incredibly important thing to do. And there's really only a few things you need to do to make that happen. Number one, and I've seen this work time and time again, is first off, most businesses is they'll just throw up a page and be like, I don't understand why people aren't buying. But then you have to ask yourself, is there a reason for them to buy right now versus whenever they want? Because they're not going to remember, but some people think, oh, they'll come back later. I don't want to pressure them too much. Most of those people are getting bombarded with ads. Like, they're never coming back. And so the way you get people to buy upfront, number one, is you can just offer a discount of 30% or more. Ideally, a time limited or quantity limited discount. If you have limited stock, let them know. This is why on Amazon, you'll see all the time where it's like, oh, this person only has 10 units left. Amazon doesn't include that by accident. They want people to know that because they know it increases conversion rate, increases the likelihood that somebody's going to buy on Amazon versus Walmart.com or at their local retail store, or not at all. And so the first thing is to include a discount of 30% or more as a general best practice, and ideally make it time limited or quantity limited. The second thing is to include bonuses that are worth as much as you're asking people to pay. Massive brands like Athletic Greens or AG1 that does hundreds of millions of dollars a year, and at the last time I heard, they're worth like $2 billion. They include a bunch of bonuses when you sign up for their subscription program. So they include a water bottle and some other things that the idea is that these bonuses are worth as much, if not more, as the thing they're asking you to buy. This is an old internet marketing, copywriting style trick, is that you add all these bonuses that have high perceived value, but maybe don't really cost you a lot. They're either digital products or just small products that you can maybe source and add to your offer for a few bucks, but people realistically do sell them for $20, $30. So you add those into your order. So people are like, oh, it's just kind of like a no-brainer to buy this product because they get all these bonuses. And you tell them, like, these bonuses are not always going to be available, which is 100% true all of the time. Because what is the likelihood that those bonuses are going to be available in 10 years? Almost none. And so to me, it's totally fine telling them these are not going to be available forever. So that also provides some scarcity. And so you either provide a discount, or you provide bonuses, or you possibly do both. By just doing that, it's really going to make your offer more compelling. So you're getting people to buy a lot, and you're also encouraging them to buy right now. If you do those two things, it's going to make this funnel work 10 times better. Now, to ensure that you can grow on these hyper-competitive ad platforms, I'm going to ask you to do something that you're going to hate, but is 100% going to work and is 100% going to give you free money for the rest of your life and business. And so most businesses, first off, they don't ever ask people to buy multiple units. But even when they do, they ask people to buy, say, 3 or a bundle, and then they send people to check out and that's done. And then they hope those customers come back at some point in the future. Instead, what you can do is you offer pre-purchase and post-purchase upsells. A pre-purchase upsell is basically just something extra you offer before the person finishes checking out. It's like being at a grocery store and then you see the candy and gum and that sort of stuff at checkout. Throw some extra stuff in your cart, and then you finish your purchase. In most cases, it's not going to hurt their ability to buy or desire to buy whatever they were going to buy in the first place. It's not that much of a distraction. And so for us selling coffee, if somebody buys 3 bags, we typically just ask them if they want to buy 3 more bags. If they buy 1 bag, we ask them if they want to buy 1 more bag. So the default option for a pre-purchase upsell is just more of what they already bought. And so that's the first piece of this, which will automatically make you more money, because you can set this kind of thing up once for all of your products and you'll make more money forever without ever having to do anything else. And so then your first order is locked in. Then you can go one step further. You can increase your average order value, your lifetime value, and your ability to scale with this funnel even more by adding post-purchase upsells. Post-purchase upsells are just offers you make after that first order is locked in and before somebody gets to their thank you page and goes off with the rest of their life. Typically, the best offer is just more of what they already bought. Or you can always test offering a complimentary product. By adding those pieces on, you're ramping up average order value, which remember can be 70% of the amount of money a customer ever gives you. And so doing this is so important, but most people way underdo it and they're missing out on huge opportunity, and that's why they can never scale. So if you put those pieces in place, you're gonna be able to make this funnel work better than anybody else. Now we need to apply a little trick that a guy used to build an $800 million advertising agency. So when most people are including sales copy on their pages with any kind of page, is they typically write in bland generalities. Our product is great, our product is high quality, our product is made of the best ingredients, that kind of thing. You can do so much better by being specific. And so what you need to do is to gather facts about your product. And now you can just ask AI to interview, or you can ask AI to analyze data from your manufacturer or supplier or your employees or whatever, and just to gather real specific facts about your product. How is it made? Why is it made that way? What ingredients are used? How long does it take to make? What's the history of the brand? All of those kind of specific facts are going to increase the believability of your page. And there's a saying that I like to use, which is the more facts you tell, the more you sell. So as long as they're not repetitive, you can't have too many of these. These could literally just be how many units you've ever sold, how long you've been in business, any of that kind of stuff, but also more specifically, facts about your product of what it does and how it does it and why it does it. That's going to make your copy so much better. And then the next part is what my CFO in almost every company I'm involved in always freaks out and almost has a heart attack about, but is guaranteed to make you more money as long as you're selling a higher quality product. So one of the last pieces you want to put on your page before we get into the exact page template that I recommend that you use today that can knock everything else out of the water is something that reduces risk for buyers. By reducing risk for buyers, it takes some pressure off of their shoulders, you put it on your shoulders, so they're way more likely to buy. And as long as you're selling a high quality product, it's almost always going to be in your favor. I've never had a situation in all the businesses, all the products I've ever sold, where this ended up being a bad deal for me. So what you're doing is when you're selling a product and you're asking people to trust you, to believe in your reviews, to believe in your facts that you've added, to believe in your claims, is the problem is you're asking them to then buy your product, but all the risk is on their shoulders. So what you want to do is you want to say that, like, not only is all this stuff true, but we believe that you are going to love this product just like these other people have, that we're willing to put all that risk on our shoulders. You don't even have to take any risk whatsoever. You just pull out your credit card, you buy the product, but if you don't like it, we'll give you a refund and then some in most cases. And so I was literally just coaching some guys how to do this in an automotive category, and we recommended, because their product is really going to only be used if your car kind of breaks down. And so I said, rather than just offering a standard guarantee, because that's not really the risk, because people may never use this product. The real risk is they go to use it and it doesn't work, and then they have to get their car towed and that kind of thing. So we created a guarantee that if this thing doesn't work and you have to get your car towed, we will cover the cost of that towing, up to like $1,000, just to limit risk somewhat so they don't get some family member with a tow truck to charge them $50,000 or something that they try to get reimbursed from you. So we had a little bit of guardrails in there, but not too crazy. But that's taking the real risk off of the consumer's shoulders. So that's what you want to do with your guarantee. And now you're ready to build your actual page. The best way to sell something is for people to feel like they're not being sold to at all. And there's one style of page that works in just about any industry today and is building more $10 million, $100 million, and even billion-dollar businesses than any other style of page or funnel. And so back in decades ago, there was a book that was written that was called the Book of Lists. It basically had weird things in there like how many celebrities die, which celebrities die during intercourse, and other less weird things, but it was basically just a book of that kind of stuff, and it did extremely well. Then when the internet started getting more and more popular, so call it late 90s, early 2000s, there was a website called BuzzFeed. And that website built its popularity creating lists of things. And now if you look at almost any news publication site or anything such as like GQ, they'll be like, here's the best, 10 jeans, here's the best jacket for winter, and that sort of thing. So this list format is a standard content format. And so people have seen it so much from news sites, from content websites, that it doesn't feel like an ad. And so the best businesses are now using this list format to sell basically anything, any sort of product or service you could imagine. This format, also called a listicle, is working extremely well. And it's very simple. All you need is a headline that's something like 5 reasons this product is beneficial to this type of customer. And so that's all the headline is. And then you list out those 5 reasons. And so those 5 reasons, the way you pick those is you look at reviews of your products and your competitors' products and find out those main reasons people are actually buying the product and list them literally in order. The most popular reason, the second most popular reason, the third most popular reason. And as long as they're true and about your product, it's going to work. It's really strong copy because you're applying an old principle, which is to sell in the language of your customer. So by doing this process, you're almost forcing yourself to do that. And so you have your headline, you have the number of reasons, and then you have your offer box. So we've already talked a lot about getting customers to buy more, have a risk eliminating guarantee, having some scarcity or a reason to buy now. So you'll already have that ready. The only other piece you really need is maybe to include a section specifically related to the facts about your product that aren't already captured in those reasons you listed. So this can be an infographic, could literally be bullet points. And then the last piece you need is just reviews, social proof. So that can be written reviews, that can be star rating reviews, that can be photos, it could be celebrity mentions, literally anything you have, just dump it down there and your page is 100% done. This page is so simple. I've built these super long pages that I've used to drive hundreds of millions of dollars in sales now, but now we're switching to this format because it's so much faster, so much easier, and actually more effective. Because we don't have as much copy, but it's packaged in a way that doesn't feel like sales copy. And that's the trick to all of this. So once you put in place all of this, you only need this one funnel to reach almost any sales goal that you have. So now you have the fundamentals of creating one page that can take your business to $1 million, $10 million, or even $100 million. And there's one particular business that just sold for over $1 billion that mastered this page format and so much more. But there's one strategy that they use that we didn't get to talk about in this video that made all the difference in the world, from connecting their ads to their page and allowed them to scale past everybody. Watch this next video to find out what it is.